Honey lovers, gather around because we are getting sticky with it. We're about to make the cake of Winnie the Pooh's dreams. Welcome to week 14, 52 weeks of baking. My name is Sydney if you're new here, where each week I take on a new themed baking challenge. And this week we're making Lithuanian honey cake. The first component to making this cake, we're going to combine honey, granulated sugar, and some butter and cook that over the stovetop until everything has dissolved. I'm gonna keep an eye on the honey and sugar mixture that we're melting over the stove, but while I'm doing that, I'm also gonna go ahead and beat 3 eggs that have been sitting out at room temperature, because we're gonna add that to the sugar mixture. I've never made this cake before, so you guys are following along as I'm learning something new here. It's a cake technically, but the layers are sweetened pastry discs that, to me, at least from my research of what the components are, it seems more like a cookie, and they're gonna be baked into I would say what resembles like a shortbread, but not quite. Stir vigorously. The next step, I have to take my hot honey and sugar mixture and put it into my beaten eggs. I'm just gonna do a spoonful of it at a time because I don't want to scramble the eggs. I'm a little nervous. I was a little nervous. I thought I cooked my eggs, but I broke out the big whisk and my faith was restored. I'm going to add in a teaspoon of baking soda and mix that in by itself, and then I'm going to start to fold in the flour. Now I need 3 cups of flour total for this, but I'm going to measure it half a cup at a time because I might not need that full amount. You just want everything to come together till it's not too sticky to handle, because we're going to roll it out like you would a cookie. So I made the executive decision to roll it out onto the counter because it needs to be a clay-like consistency and not stick to my hands, which it is. And my arm is getting too tired to fold more flour into the dough. So I feel like this is going to be an easier route for me to get everything incorporated. Okay, I think I have this rolled out correctly with the right amount of flour. It's not sticky anymore, which is what I think it's supposed to be like. I'm going to cut the dough now into 8 equal pieces and roll that out into about an eighth of an inch thick and cut it into a circle, and that's gonna be a single cake layer. So we're gonna have 8 layers to this cake. Shaking. Still sticky. So I'm supposed to roll each of these pieces into 1/8 of an inch, but I feel like I don't have enough dough for that. It's pretty thin. I screwed this one up a little bit. Hopefully it's fixable. I don't think this is right. I was supposed to make a 9-inch circle with a 1/8 inch thickness, and this is like a freaking crepe. It's a 1/16 thickness. Okay, I threw the first guy in the oven, and while he's baking for his 2 whole minutes, I'm gonna start on the other sections. Learning experience. Layer number 2, just as thin. Where you might be making a crepe cake instead of a honey cake. I made too many holes, so I'm rolling it back up to start again. It's like rags, like. Don't challenge me with this on my Great British Bake Off debut. I'll go home the Thursday. Everything's fine. We're getting into a little bit of a groove now. I picked up where I was messing up at. And now we're going. So instead of trimming it before I bake, I'm going to start trimming them after they get out of the oven, because I just kept tearing them before. And then we'll use these pieces after for garnish. These are what the baked layers look like. No offense, this looks like bread from the medieval times. That's all I'm gonna say. We're finally to the last layer. I think some of them are I know some of them are a little thicker than others, but it's my first time. This is life with a Lithuanian. They eat the shit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Literally though, I felt so silly buying this giant container in the store. And then we also have these little ones. I'm not using all of this though. Only 32 ounces. So the frosting and filling for this cake is a whipped cream, sour cream frosting. Bear with me. We're gonna whip 1 cup of heavy cream until we get stiff peaks. Separate bowl, combine powdered sugar and sour cream, and then fold everything together. So I'm gonna make that now. "32 ounces of sour cream. So much sour cream. I'm quite concerned with the amount of sour cream I just put into this bowl. Who eats as much sour cream? Look at this. No words. You at least know it's a European dessert because it's not super sweet, because the ratio of powdered sugar to sour cream in this doesn't even compare. I can't talk too much about sour cream and sugar. My boyfriend taught me how to put that on crepes, and it's delicious. So, anyways, now I'm gonna fold in the whipped cream into the sour cream. Okay, time to tackle the assembly. I have my 8 layers of cake. So weird to me. We're gonna put one down, 1/3 cup of the filling, and then just repeat from there. Time to add the last layer. Going to use the remaining amount of sour cream frosting and add it to the sides here. And then we saved all the little, extra bits that we cut off the cake, I'm gonna put these in a food processor and coat the top and outside of the cake. I'm a little confused on what the technique is here because the sour cream makes it so runny. Like, how is it supposed to be a frosting that goes on the sides of this? Just oozing here. Now, I have to figure out what method I want to do here. If I should just like dump and maneuver with my hands. But I want to coat the top and the sides. Oh fuck, don't do that. Don't do that. Ignore my mess. We've got the cake coated to my disbelief. I'm going to cover it and put it in the fridge, so this has to soak overnight to let that sour cream frosting soak into those layers. So we'll check in tomorrow, give it a taste test and see if it should really be called a sour cream cake or not. Hey guys, we're back. We're ready to taste test the Lithuanian honey cake. It's been sitting overnight, soaking in all of that sour cream goodness. So let's cut into it and see how it turned out. I think that looks pretty perfect. That's exactly what we wanted based on my extensive research on the Lithuanian honey cake. Just counting my layers. There's 8 of them, but I'll be my own hard critic and point out that they're not very even. But taste is what matters. It's actually pretty good. It tastes like sour cream at the end a little bit, but everything kind of came together and the sour cream soaked into those cake layers, so they're not like hard crackers anymore. 10 out of 10, it's pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this week's video. Be sure to like and subscribe to stay tuned for next week's video as we head to Turkey.